Hello everyone, it's Leela.
And Beau.
Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss episode 1 of Boys Planet. We're going to go through the performances, talk about our favorites and our least favorites, and who we're voting for in our first top 9. So if you enjoy these discussions and you'd like to hear more of them, because we'll be here every Saturday, please subscribe.
For 3 months? Something like that?
Something like that.
Oh, dear Lord.
It's going to be a journey.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. It's going to be fun, though.
Shall we begin?
Let's.
You want to dive right in?
Yes, please.
Okay. Today we're going to go through the notable performances of the episode. We aren't going to talk about all of them because there were some that were sort of skipped over or weren't really my favorites. So I don't really have a lot to say about them, so we won't talk about those. And then, yeah, we'll talk about...
And just as a point of recommendation, go to the YouTube channel. Just watch each of the unedited performances. If it bores you, skip it. Just trust your gut. Because there's so many. You can go... But I would definitely go check out the YouTube videos because it's not really fair. You need to check it out.
Yeah. We definitely watched them all. I've watched them all multiple times. I just didn't have a lot to say about some of them, so we're just going to...
Neither did the show.
Keep it brief.
And I understand why the show does it that way.
Yeah.
It's too many.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's hop in.
Let's go.
And these aren't in order that they came on the show. They're in order of my preference.
Oh, good.
Okay.
There you go. So this is the absolute worst one. No,
So we will start out with the performance of my fave. If you watched our last video where we talked about who our faves are going into the show, you'll know that Anthony is
Anthony
has been my number one to pre-show. So his group was 3 Wake One trainees that did NCT Dream's Glitch Mode.
And sorry to interrupt. Was this similar to Girls Planet? They're assigned these songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they did a really good job of assigning everyone songs.
For the most part, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody got a song that was like, oh, that wasn't a good choice. Well, I would have picked a better Very, Very song, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But, I think they were all given really good song choices for everyone.
I think the soloists are assigned a solo song if they show up solo, I guess. So I'm
Not
wondering about that. But anyway,
Not
Anthony with 2 N's, Anthony is great. We know Anthony. His fans know him and love him. He needs to stand out on the show, and that probably will come in between the stuff.
I was a little worried because they didn't give him really any screen time or any reaction or anything, and they focused in the performance in the edited version for the show pretty much solely on Haruto.
He asked for extra time though.
They asked him mainly because of his dance background, and him and the other guy, Min, were doing stunts. They were doing backflips and stuff like that. And then Haruto, they asked him afterwards to show off his dancing skills, and he talked about how he has a background in ballet, so he did the spins and stuff or whatever.
Did 30 spins.
So Anthony kind of was at a disadvantage in regards to that because he wasn't doing the stunts. That's not what his thing is. And the way they edited what you saw on the show of the performance, they actually trim out parts of it, and they pretty much trimmed out all of Anthony's vocal parts. But if you go watch the full cam, you'll see that Anthony sounded really good, vocally better than the other two, but they just didn't show him.
What I'm saying is that Haruto at the beginning asked, "Can we have this time to set up? Can we also have this other time to set up?" And other contestants said, "Can I dance for you now? Can I have a chance?" Anthony needs to start doing that kind of thing. He's very charming. When people hear him talk, they don't... He's an unusual looking... He's cute, but super tall.
Yeah.
He's has a bit more of an effeminate voice, but he sings...
His actual singing voice is relatively deep. It's not what you'd expect from Anthony.
He needs to use those unique charms.
Yeah.
Because Haruto, granted, I think he did great, didn't do anything surprising. I mean, a ballet guy who can do 30 things. It's impressive, don't get me wrong, but you need to stick out on the show as unique. You need to stick in... we talked about this with Girls Planet, and this drives me crazy. When you see somebody who is so unique, you want to see them on the stage as an idol because they're different and they don't stand out. But that's also in the editing.
They have to choose who they want to show, and they didn't focus on Anthony for whatever reason. But to me, so you can go by what the show tells you, and historically, when we were more new to these, I kind of went along with it. or you can like take a step back, watch the full cams, and make like your own opinions of their performances, but not based off of what they said. I thought they were like, it's not that Haruto did poorly or that he's not good.
He's great.
They were just like hyping him a ton, and when I was like, I'm not feeling like hyped a ton, like miles ahead of the rest of his team or anything like that. And his vocals weren't there. Anthony's vocals were better. But just the way they did the choreography, it was way more focused on stunts. I think that stuff is cool. Like, it's really neat. Like, in like the intro videos, and when people have that skill and they can like do athletic things, that's cool. As part of choreography, I'm not impressed by that. Like, I don't really care.
It's a neat thing to throw in there. You know, like what's her name? Kazuna from the Seraphim does her ballet once in a while.
Yeah,
that's I like that when somebody has a thing. This is what I'm saying though. Anthony will polite himself into obscurity in this show if he is not, because he's very polite. He's a very sweet kid. He needs to show that energy and stuff.
Screen time for Anthony. Hashtag screen time for Anthony.
So they did really well though.
Yeah,
they did great. All of them. These pants though do not fit anybody in the world. I hate when they put them in these.
The outfits are not good.
Yeah, they're not good. But they did really good though.
But yeah, so that was the first
Better
one.
than I thought they would do.
The second one that took me by storm. I've been streaming this video like as if it counts how many views it gets. Is Team America waving the flag for us American fans, doing Crush and J-Hope's song Rush Hour.
They should say USA, not America, but
well, whatever. Jay and Camden's team.
Sorry.
Killed. Well, best performance of the whole show. I put Anthony first because he was historically my fave, but this was my favorite performance of the whole show. Perfect song choice. Jay is just, he's just got it. He's got everything.
He's got something.
I love him.
Who is not?
I love
Camden,
Jay.
Where was not from? Camden from? He was.
They're
from,
American boys.
Both of them were.
Yeah.
Okay, because he kind of got overpowered by Jay, which. Okay.
He did well though.
So Jay is
like
a 2006 CW teen drama lead.
Disney Channel.
He is in a lot of ways pretty hokey, pretty cheesy.
No.
He was a bit cheesy.
Don't say no. He wasn't.
In a really good. He was, to me, he acted like, or he felt like someone playing a person going to, like, this was a stage show and he was an actor. Mm-hmm. I'm the big time. You know, he was, wow, my dreams will come true. You know, it was almost like that. But it didn't feel disingenuous or silly. He seems comfortable. And that is, I always say this every time we do one of these nightmare shows. That's more important than anything. You could suck, but don't look like you're not supposed to be on the stage. Give yourself a 1-star. Say, I'm not good at singing, but damn it, I'll try. He's good at singing and dancing, but granted, their dance was not complicated. But
that's okay.
You
that's
have
not
to
what
own
matters.
that dance.
It has to
he could have done a more complicated dance. They wore looser clothes that were able to dance because it wasn't an intense dance. It felt like J-Hope and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He was not imitating. He was embodying J-Hope without just doing a J-Hope. Copy.
This song, I like, it came out and it kind of was like a TikTok meme thing and I didn't really listen to it. But after hearing this, I was like, wait, that's actually a really good song. And I went back and listened to it and he sounds like he did Crush justice. Like,
it was
the boy
Crush is the singing part mostly, right?
Yeah. Okay, he did the man justice. He did so good. And like, I love Jay's vocal tone. Totally unique in the entire show.
It sounds very American to me.
Yeah, like the style, the like groove. Like,
hey guys,
he reminded me. He reminded me of Bongie Dom. Like, he brought like something to it, the industry that it's missing now without him. And I was like, I have fully swerved into One Pick J territory. Like, I think that this group needs him. And
I agree.
I'm so excited.
I agree. He's a fave of mine, I believe, as well, because of that. But unlike Bang Yudam is a much more, he has I know this sounds silly, but a bit of darkness to him, a bit of seriousness to him. Jay is all...
Well, we haven't seen that yet. Maybe he can do... Like, I would love to see Jay do an R&B. Like, I can't wait to see what other performances we're going to get.
Right. I'm just saying, as a guy from the US of A, it's, like, hard to see that on stage. In K-pop, you're kind of like, what? There's us up there. Like, he acts... To me, he feels like a USA kid. Or from somewhere outside of Korea, maybe Vietnam or something where they have a unique,
very
a bit
American.
more brighter. But he just had a good time. He came out and acted like he was doing it at a party for fun, but it sounded great. Yeah. And that's what you need. Now, the other kid, I feel bad for him again. I think he got overshadowed by Jay a bit. But, I mean, Jay's obviously a star. Now, he came from something else before. He has some popularity.
I thought he was in the group Mont, but some people corrected me in the comments. He isn't really. It's just like he's worked with them or something. Like, he has experience doing stuff before. It's not like in a K-pop group specifically.
Well, I was going to say this before, and and we talked about this, but this season so far, just from watching the videos and everything, has upgraded as far as talent and looks. Like, just the percentages of duds is very low.
Very, very low.
Not to insult any of the people who went there who are working hard, but, there's in past, it was like the meme to have some really bad. Remember, Produce 48, they had the Japanese girls who were horribly bad, and it was almost a meme. But, my theory is that you have guys and people like Jay's age who grew up as K-pop in 15, 16, 17, 18 when it was blowing up, and they really want, and now the fruits of their labor is paying off. And, like with sports, people can beat a previous record because they know how far to go. Yeah. And it gives them something to push for, and everybody is one-upping each other. Because he didn't come to play, but he didn't pull out like this, I'm the best here, I'm from America, screw all you. No, he was just like, had a good time. He is like, is he not an idol already?
He has great reactions too.
Yeah, and his reactions are great.
His facial expressions, he just can't help that he's just like always a bit humorous. But anyway, we love Jay.
Love Jay.
Team Jay.
Bright energy, I like
Team
that.
Jay. After that was Sung HANBIN. Now, HANBIN wasn't on my radar, but he was the center of the Signal song, and he was like the main character of that. Yeah. And he came out for the first time on the show. They gave him the sparkle edit. Everyone talked about how handsome he is.
Yeah, I guess he has proportions they like or something.
He performed ONF's song Beautiful, Beautiful, which I love. I'm an ONF fan, huge ONF fan. So, like, Hanmin's gonna be like ranked number 1 in this group. Like, vote for your 8 other faves because this guy is like guaranteed to be in there. Like, he did amazing in this song, like both the one that was on the show and if you would just watch the full cam version. He, like what I said about they picked such great songs for everyone. Yeah. His vocal tone sounds like Hyojin from ONF. Like he sings this song and it sounds like ONF is doing this song, and he kind of looks like Hyojin, and he's just like the perfect. If you were like draw the perfect K-pop visual, like him, it's him. It's him, and he has a dance background. He was a backup dancer for a few years before trying to be an idol himself. The fact that I'm like, you weren't an idol already? Like, that's insane, because he's like...
How old is it, do you know?
Perfect. I don't know. But he's amazing.
To me, he's the Surichi of this season.
No.
In a way.
Surichi didn't have a chance.
I'm not saying not to get into the group. I'm just saying talents, looks. I think well, maybe not Surichi. I'm thinking maybe somebody else, but like who is the epitome of an idol you want to see in the group.
Chaehyun.
He's not my favorite style of idol. He's this steadfast, good guy who just comes out, be's handsome, sings well,
sensitive. He was like, we'll get to Matthew in a moment, but him and Matthew are besties.
Oh, right.
And he got real emotional when Matthew was performing because they had been trainees together at Cube and then left Cube, and now they're on separate like companies, and they're still trying to be idols. Yeah. In this together. And so he got real emotional watching his friend perform, which is like so sweet. And it's like, dude, like just give him in the group already. Like,
I mean, he's going to be an idol for several years and be successful. Amazing. Then going to become an actor and be famous as that. He's already got a career.
He's so perfect.
And it's not just because he's a good looking. There's a lot of good looking guys that have this similar kind of look there. And
but
stuff
he's
like
talented too.
But he was able to sing and dance, and a lot of these reality shows, you're just kind of like, I can't believe this is singing. I mean, there's people here in the U.S. on what's that singing show they make every year with Cal and stuff.
I don't know.
And sometimes they show up and you're like, these people just destroy notes, like in a good way. K-pop doesn't quite do that, but only a few of these people really came out and felt like, oh, you could put him in a group, and he was one of them.
He's great.
The outfits, I'm tired of this shoulder holster outfit they put on idols forever.
But I'm on board.
He gave himself 3 stars, by the way, which he could easily have 4.
Humble King.
He could have had 4.
Like, we love that for you.
Yeah, I want to see more of this guy. He was
he was
cool
great.
guy.
We love HANBIN. and his bestie Matthew.
Now, see, Matthew is the second half of that duo that I'm more interested in.
Yeah. So Matthew's Canadian. He was slightly on my radar from the introduction video stuff. On this, he performed Jay Park's All I Want to Do. He had mentioned in his introduction video he's a big Jay Park fan. That's why he wanted to be an idol. He went to Korea. Him and HANBIN were trainees together. And he is the cutest. Like, I just want to pinch his cheeks. He is so freaking adorable. And, like, he went out here. He did such a great job with this song. It was, like, a perfect choice for him. He did so well. Love Matthew. Love Matthew.
Yeah, I thought the vocal, to me, it sounded a little bit off here and there, but
it could have been like a slightly bit better, but he did a really good, solid job.
They're feeding that live mic up really high for us. In there in the studio, with the music is much louder, and it's more mixed, better live. I'm sure it was great. But no, he also came out and did the HANBIN treatment, the Jay treatment, where he came out and he just said, all right, well, you want me to... Oh, yeah, I can do that thing for your friend's mom. And he did it. This real, like it's just a casual, almost seeming thing, except for the fact that his voice sounded a little nervous here and there.
Yeah.
But other than that,
that's understandable. And he's the whole thing where he like speaks English, French, and Korean. So they had him speak a little French, and it was really nervous, cute and funny moment. Like, I adore Matthew. Like, as far as like, are they gonna make into the group? Like, my predictions, like, as of now, I don't think any G group candidate is like on lock.
No,
I think we have to like, we're gonna have to like fight for our G group faves. Like, we'll get into that at the voting part at the end. But I adore Matthew, and like, I really
he has a unique kind of boyish look too.
He's so cute.
He's gonna grow up and be more handsome instead of boyish, but he has a unique look and everything. He's not. He's a weird mix, but he came out and I didn't expect him doing that. And
I love that song, and I just, Matthew.
Good on Matthew, man.
I'm so excited for Matthew. The next were the two Yuhua groups. Why does Yuhua have so many trainees? Like, what's going on?
It's a Chinese group. They have a lot of money, I think.
No, the company.
Yuhua is
they're Korean. It's a Korean K-pop
I thought
company.
It was Chinese. I thought they're the ones who own
Yeah, I don't know, but they have a bunch of trainees. They had a whole K group and a whole G group. So the Yuhua K performed. They both did Kick It. These two groups did Kick It. We'll talk about them both together. Like, who did it better? I think they were like on par with each other. Like K and G. We'll talk about G in a minute. The whole time they were really focused on Yujin, who is the center here.
Known for dance more, right?
Did we figure that out? Dance, and like, he's really young, but his vocals were really good too. So they were really complimenting Yujin a lot. Did they have him do like a extra dance or something? I think they did, because then after that, Gyuvin, which is the one with the lighter hair, he's on the left here, asked if he could do a second dance. Like, he's gonna, right. And they said yes, and then he did it, and then he got the 4 stars for it or whatever. But they were really, really, really like complimenting Yujin a lot, which, yes, he did well, but like, again, it's a similar situation for me where it's like, he did well, but the member who actually did the high note, the actual like insane, really good high note, was Sungun.
Yeah.
Yu Sung, and they didn't focus on him at all, and he's the one who carried the high note that was like really hard.
Yeah, I think though, and Kick It is such a specific famous dance song that maybe they were hitting on the dance harder, but yeah, he held that note.
But like, why didn't they talk about that high note, man?
I mean, they still gave him 4 stars,
right?
That
high note was, I don't remember.
I thought they did, but I it might have been it. I don't know. I'd have to go rewatch it, but I think that when you got a hot young gun, like
I think they
showing up there like
Yujin a lot for whatever reason. So they were very favoring him, and Gyuvin too. Gyuvin, I think I wouldn't say these two are on lock, but really close based off of this.
I'd say
especially Gyuvin, because he just has that visual. Like, he looks like Minhee from Gravity. He looks like, like, he looks like the produced idol. Like, he is like the perfect. And they were giving him all the reactions, and he was being kind of funny and stuff. So, like, I think that they have a really good chance.
I have a feeling with Yujin, though, his inexperience will show as it goes along. I can see him being scolded a lot and stuff, because we didn't hear much. He wasn't the high note guy. So being able to do a couple dances is not, I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying he's not talented, but I'm saying that I think that he's only done it for a year. He's
that's
going to be
the
lacking
thing
in
they were
some
saying,
area. I
that
have a feeling
he
but
did
if
really
not,
well, but he's really new and stuff like that.
Now,
so,
if he comes out like kind of like Youngun with Kepler, where suddenly she's vocalizing, and people are like, we don't know what it is. Your voice is just cool.
Yeah.
If he doesn't need to blow people away, he just needs to have that kind of a performance. If he can do that, he's a lock. But I think his inexperience could not, because he's so young.
I need to see more, but the judges loved him. But I need to see more. But
I think this group did better than the Chinese group.
Yeah, just a tiny bit
better.
But High Note guy, no credit was given to him. It should be given to him. And then we have the Yuhua G group that did kick it. This group has like some of our other members that we were interested, which is Ricky. And Ollie is becoming one of my faves. Ollie is precious. Ollie Wonka is the cutest little thing. And he was the rapper for this team. And like, I think with some coaching, he could actually be really good and like work with his kind of squeaky voice.
Well, he has J-Hope's rap tone, which J-Hope embraced it and sounds like a maniac, which is why J-Hope is so good. He's like that's why he's my favorite in BTS. Yeah. Sure, Suga's fast and RM is brainy and stuff, but J-Hope sounds like a maniac. He expresses so much in very few syllables, and he can do a lot of stuff. He almost sings. It's very unique. If Ollie does that, he kind of, not saying copy or do his own thing, but he has that, but maybe a bit more, organized tone or something. I think he'll definitely.
I just mean that, like, just because he has like a childish, slightly squeaky voice doesn't mean he couldn't be a good rapper. He can use that to his advantage with some coaching and be a pretty good rapper. I think Ollie has some potential there. Ricky didn't really stand out to me. We liked all of his videos ahead of time.
I wasn't big on Ricky.
But he was okay. He didn't stand out to me.
I think he's relying a bit to being young and rich and handsome.
Jung Hao was the team leader. He was the G group center in the Signal song. He's like extremely skilled. Like, he was very good at dancing, very good with vocals. He did their high note justice. He did it really well. He can play the violin. Like, he's super
Was he
smart.
the violin kid?
Yeah, he like is a music teacher, and he's like super smart, and like.
Well, then how old is he?
He was he's graduated college.
25,
so I don't
26?
know. I don't know everyone's ages.
Again, he'll probably not get as much credit.
He like super skilled. Like, he was the top of G group for a reason. Like, does that mean, to me, do I think that he's on lock for the group even though he was the center?
No.
Not necessarily, just because I know it's like harsh or whatever, but the like Chinese idol thing, like, it's hard.
Korea won't vote for him.
They just won't vote.
I mean,
for him.
I'm not saying that.
I don't think, but like, he's super skilled. Like, am I mad if he makes it into the group? Absolutely not. For me, I am way more, like, partial to just, like, charisma, as you guys are seeing. Like, Jay, like, has my heart just off of charisma, whereas this guy is, like, super skilled, super talented, amazing, all that. But, like, he's not super charismatic. He's just a bit, like, subdued and serious and mature. And for me, an idol is, like,
it doesn't
personality a bit, but so for me, that's just like my personal thing, but I think he's super
that's what I'm saying. You can't let yourself be cast in the background. You have to give these editors a storyline. You have to understand that this America, USA reality shows know that. That's why you get so many people show up and they just start causing drama from the beginning. It's because they know that's what they want. I'm not saying cause drama, but I'm just saying start talk to the trainers, whatever it is.
They gave him a whole backstory.
Oh, I know, and he had the violinist. So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, maybe smile. I know that sounds horrible, but you are being an idol and stuff. It make it seem like you're having a good time a little bit more.
We have time. I think that he will probably have some good moments coming where he's a team leader or something, and we'll get.
If he's a teacher, he's going to be doing all.
Yeah, he's a music teacher. He's a teacher, so like I'm sure he'll do really well. I think he has a lot of potential, but like for me, I'm like, you got to move my heart,
Yeah.
So next we had Team Jellyfish, doing very, very GBTB, which I like very, very. This is not my favorite song of theirs. Like, they have so many better songs.
I don't like this kind of rock hard.
Like, if you were gonna do a very, very song because they're from Jellyfish Entertainment, if you're gonna do like your senior song or whatever, I think there's better choices. but maybe they picked it because it's more chanty, so it's not as vocal heavy, so it's just more like chanting and stuff. So the vocals were like,
they called
not
that
really
out,
there. And the rap parts were like pretty good. So this is the group that had Gunwook, who he was the other one that in the intro videos we really liked. He's not the vampire, but he's the other guy that wore the black outfit and was acting all cool. He's this season's Diane. They already compared him to her.
The guy in the front.
He's in the back, the one that's standing.
Right, the 17-year-old.
Yeah, he's only 17, which blows my mind. He does not look 17. He looks so mature. And he's like tall and like muscular and like all super duper handsome. He's like their favorite. Like, he's gonna get the angel edit before the series ends. We'll be at his mom's house. Like,
he's gonna join Monster X.
Yeah, so, honest to God, like, he looks like he should like slot him into Monster X.
It could be
it kind of blows my mind. So I like him a lot for that reason, for all those reasons. And if like he's their favorite, I'm cool with that. He seemed really cool. He was confident but not arrogant.
I think he had a bit of arrogance.
He got knocked down a peg. I think he was sitting there like, because everyone else was doing so well. Like afterwards, where he was just like, I'm the best here, and then everyone else was like doing a little bit better than him. But he didn't take it in like a bad way.
No, I don't think he was being a jerk.
But you could see him kind of go like shrinking just a little bit, like, oh wow, everyone else is really good.
When you're, this is again gonna sound horrible, whatever. But when you're being told your, entire young adult into adult life, into your career, that you're the hottest, the best, you can make some mistakes if you're not careful. It's a very powerful elixir. But other than that, I think he seemed like a really cool. I liked his confidence. I thought, come out and you're in an idol show. You're in front of professional people who are literally people who work with idols, or were idols or whatever, who make it their whole life. Why are you there? And he's like, well, I'm here to get in the group.
Yeah. I think he has a ton of potential. They hyped him up a ton. They had him do a dance afterwards and everything, and were hyping him up. Again, for me personally, like, is he like the best dancer there? Probably not. No. Best vocalist? No. Is he the most handsome one there? Yes.
I didn't think
so. Like, they were really hyping him up a lot. But for whatever.
To me, he looks I don't know, like kind of like a jock or something, which they tend to like in K-pop, but they also like the kind of vampire, like skinny guy look. But my question is, can he do something other than the powerful dances?
Yeah, that's what I want to know too. Like,
because you're a big bulky guy,
you're gonna need some variety. This group isn't necessarily going to be Monster X.
I mean, imagine seeing a big bulky guy like that coming out and doing like a ballet-ish thing. The people would be like, "That's really cool."
Yeah,
he's got a challenge.
I also wanted to talk about HANBIN, which is one of your favorites. Yeah. Remember in the intro videos, he was the guy with the blow-up costume.
He was doing what the twins were doing.
He's a pretty good rapper, and he's like really excited to get to rap. I thought he did pretty well. They didn't focus on him at all. Like you have a rap coach there. Let the man speak.
Yeah, I don't think he spoke at all, did he?
Please let him speak and coach the rappers. That I was like, what?
Yeah.
So he's another one to keep an eye on and he was really cute, and he like gave a lot of good reactions and stuff.
Yeah, he seems like an interesting kid.
A really fun kid. But yeah, they did pretty good. I liked them. And then after that, we have Team TAIPEI. They did SUPERM song Tiger Inside. I don't know the names of the individual members here. I just don't remember. The one in the center here that he brought the like staff in, he's done like, he said he's done Chinese traditional dance since he was 3.
Crazy.
So his dance skill, and he's like super flexible. He's the one that in some of his intro videos he was doing like flips and like
just flips with no hand, like not even running, just flips.
The splits and everything. Like he's
been doing it since he was 3, right?
Yeah, super duper flexible, and like that style of traditional dance, which is really acrobatic. It's so beautiful.
I actually think the twins were involved with a similar thing. It's a very popular thing in China to do this kind of acrobatic, beautiful dance. And remember in Girls Planet, they all did the Chinese sounding beautiful dance with Su Richie and it's real sad and all that stuff like that. So 2 things. That's amazing. I think it's a great talent. I'd love to see him do that in his show. That he's probably a superstar in China for that kind of thing. Those people work really hard from a young age to be amazing stuff with their body. It will remind Korean voters and some people of China and the power of China and the cultural thing, and there's a lot of tit for tat going on right now. So I think that
to Idol.
I don't know how popular he's going to be with the Korean voters for that reason. I'm not going to get into politics for it or whatever, but I think that also if he can't come out with his traditional staff and the things all the time.
Right.
I have a feeling he could do the rest of the other kind of dances no problem as well. Right. But he has to learn to be a bit more, instead of so elegant, he's going to have to do the hit hard. And they had some of it in this. So, but at minimum, he's going to go be an acrobat for the rest of it. He's incredible.
Yeah, I thought
he was one of my favorites just because I love that kind of stuff where... this is going to sound silly. Like a circus kid, his parents were in the circus and he was doing the high wire act at 5. Like it's like a fairy tale. And the guy's been working his body since he was 3. And he goes to be an idol. They're like, your dance style is not what we like. It's kind of what they would probably say because it's very Chinese or traditional or whatever. But if he incorporates it, I think it'd be great. I can't remember if they're singing.
I'm sorry, I don't remember like his name.
Their singing wasn't
that great. The vocals weren't there. The rest of the performance was like okay, but he really stood out, and they like focused on him for that, which I think was neat.
They felt to me a little nervous too, so that might have been it. But they were good.
So moving forward, we had Team Tokyo, who
oh my god.
Demolished Pentagon's shine right in front of Hui.
Look at this. No, they're not. I guess these two are kind of in sync here, but this guy here is just not even in sync.
I don't remember their individual names. I'm sorry. Again, the one on the far right here in the image, he like as far as the dance goes. If you like to turn off the volume, like it was good. Like they weren't in sync with each other, but they gave it the energy. The guy on the right here. He did the facial expressions really well because there's a part where like Jinho like does the facial expressions like the cute and like pouty and stuff, and he did it like perfectly.
I love that little.
Again, I'm a huge Pentagon fan, and I love this song.
It's a great K-pop song.
So they did it cutely, and it was all that stuff. The vocals were just the disaster area. He was like cracking his every single note.
Woo!
Poor kid. I don't know if he
hit puberty yet.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Nerves too.
It was instead of focusing on that, like their lack of vocal skill, they focused more on like Hui's reaction to seeing these young kids performing Shine as their demo stage, because and that made him really emotional. He got really emotional watching them perform it because, pride and also a little bit of nostalgia and a little bit of like missing your.
I think it was literally just not nostalgia, but. He's sitting there going, man, I've been around the world and I've done some famous people and I've been a famous person. But here if you heard the crowd of the boys, because these guys were doing so horribly, they were trying to cheer him up. And plus,
the reaction was great.
You can't help but chant with the song.
Yeah, you can't.
And they knew that Hui was there, so they were like, man, this is amazing. They were like in a little concert. Moments like that are what make the Mnet shows good. Yeah. As bad as they can be for the manipulation and stuff. Yeah. When their kids support each other, and they were trying to support these kids through it, and they did good on the dance, okay, but the vocals were horrible. They didn't even really talk to them much because it's like, what are you gonna say? You're getting no. I think they did tell them you're getting no stars.
Right.
But having said that, I think that at least these 3 came out and showed they were willing. They were singing in a foreign language. They were able to do the dance, but they weren't able to sing, which could have been mostly due to nerves too. So I have a feeling one of these kids might come out and come to the front a little bit more. It was just they concentrated on Hui so much that you didn't know.
They were just focusing on him and his reaction to it, and that he was very touched by it and everything. And so it was.
It's hard for people to. I think a lot of people hear that or see that, and maybe younger people don't understand. As you get older and as you get along a career, as you get more experiences, things make you cry really easy. I cry so easy, and I think he was just having He was like, this is really. Great and sad and happy and everything in one thing. It was like watching himself, and he kind of said this when he first started. Right. Even though he didn't probably start out this. I mean, he probably auditioned and stuff, I'm sure, and started out bad. Yeah. These kids could be where he is in a few years, and it makes him feel good. So that's why I don't know if we'll talk about him, but that's why I'm glad he's there.
He hasn't performed yet. They teased it. It'll be next time.
Of course they did. Yeah, it's gonna be last.
Yeah. And I think this is the last performance I wanted to talk about that we want to talk about just for fun. 2 different individual soloists perform 2 PM's My House, which is Bok Do-ha in the blue and Jung Mingyu in the red.
Were they a K group both? Yes.
They're both K-group, and they were the comic relief of the show. And the way it was edited was so, like, well done, because Doha comes out and he, like, poor thing, was just having a struggle. But you know what? He tried. And then they were like, this is really funny. It reminds me of something else. And they, like, go to the other guy in the red shirt who had performed right before him.
Same song.
Doing the same song and struggling just as much. So they had them come up together and do a little bit of it together. And it was kind of cute and funny. Like they were having a struggle.
Well, this happens in every season, I think. An idol model or an actor comes out. They're super good looking, or their mom thinks they're cute and knows somebody in the industry and gets them on a show, or they've been teen modeling for 6 years or something with no business being there anymore. But thinking, people told me I could try it. Maybe if you could dance a little bit, or maybe if you could sing a little. They couldn't do either, but they can act, I guess. So maybe idols. But I think though, really, for me, it was so funny because they were laughing. Yes, at them. These guys knew that they were laughing at them, but they finished the song. They didn't give up, and they weren't rude or cocky about it. They didn't come out with 4 stars. I can act, so I can. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't anything bad.
Right.
But I do not want to I want to underline, I should say, the part where I can't remember who it was, which master said, "Bring them both up here."
Right.
Perform together, and they did better.
Right.
A, they were warmed up a little bit, but also B, it's hard to come out as a soloist. And
that's a lot to ask.
Especially when you can't sing or dance.
Yeah.
So it had loosened them up a bit. And I think that moment is so important. And because there are so many kids who try to get into something like this, and they're just not, all they need is a certain spark or a certain way of thinking about it. Try it this way instead. Don't, like, I love how the vocalist will teach them, try to sing, breathe this way. Little tricks. So the guy in the blue, both of them really were one of my favorites, because I know they're not going to make it. They're an actor. They'll be fine. They're handsome and stuff. But I think there's a little bit, that's another aspect of K-pop I like. A kind of black sheep comes along and doesn't fit in. And, you can't just be handsome and stuff. You do have to have a little bit of ability. And maybe maybe they'll grow a little bit and come a little bit. I don't think they'll make it, but it'll be interesting to see them try, because I think they have a good spirit. They've done, if you're an actor or a model, you've done auditions, and you hear no more than anything. It's embarrassing. It's hard. I hear that all the time from people. So I really like this. It was a wholesome moment. Yeah. In the way that the twins were. Yeah. But the twins were just, they had such
comedy gold.
Yeah, but they were twins. They were like a miracle. These guys put these two knuckleheads together.
I hope they end up in a team together.
And I think they can encourage each other. Just keep their spirit up. That's all I would tell them is, please, if you like one of these guys, vote for him and keep voting for him, because I think it'd be interesting to see them get further along. Yeah.
And with that, we go into our top 9. So the first round voting goes on forever. It goes on from February 2nd to 24th. You can vote once per day, and the voting for the first round, which I guess this would be for the first eliminations, you just pick 9 out of any group. There's no cell system. There's no quota for number of G versus number of K. They just pick 9 over everything, which is a good thing. I think they learned from some of the mistakes of Girls Planet, and are just do it this way.
With
just
the cell
keep
system,
it simple.
Cell system pulling up people which I like the cell system, honestly. It's an unpopular opinion.
I like this. It's just really straightforward. Pick your 9 favorites, vote for them. Very straightforward.
I agree.
The total votes count in a way that 50% of it is from all the Korean audience, 50% of it is from everywhere else, global audience. So that, again, means there can be 3 people in Korea, 300 of us in the rest of the world, and those 3 votes count the same as ours, which can weigh things towards that Korean audience.
So you've just explained the frustration behind the USA's Electoral College.
Yeah.
So 3 people get as many votes as 400 people. Yeah. So keep that in mind. If a Korean voter, there could be 2 Koreans who vote in Korea, only 2. And they get half of the deciding power. Yeah. So if Sally, if the Korean 1 and Korean 2 vote for Anthony, nobody else could, and they still could halfway get him in. Right. So my strategy with this is what it always is. Of course, it's going to change as I like more people and stuff like that. But and I did this last time, but try to stick to one person and just keep doing it, because you're going to have the panic voting and all
I like that they're letting us do 9 and not like 1, 2, or 3. They're like letting us make a whole team. It spreads the votes around a little bit more. You can like, pick. My picks have basically remained from what I thought they would be. And my strategy for this, which is the first eliminations, is just like who I want to see more from, not necessarily who I think the final group will be.
Yeah.
And so Anthony Wungi, which I already said, was one of my faves because he used to be in TL1. I liked him in that group. Jay, Keita, my treasure J kid. Kim Ji-woong has not performed yet, but was still ranked towards the top of all the votes. Because everyone freaking loves him. He's the vampire guy.
Oh, yeah.
Gunwook, again, like I said, he's their fave, but I like him a lot too.
Yeah.
And then Ricky, Matthew, and Christian. Christian performed this time. There was nothing notable about that performance, so I want to see more from
Canadian
Christian.
Or something too, or
Christian is Chinese.
Oh, was he Chinese? Sorry, okay.
So that's who I want to see more from. It's still like the faves that I thought I would have, just with a little differences. Beau picked Anthony, Doha, which was our house. Jay, did you want to say anything about why you picked your?
I mean, Anthony, we like Anthony.
We love Anthony.
He's such a unique idol. Doha, because he was at my house, 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think he'll make it, but I want to see more from him. Jay is just like, oh, come on. He's gonna literally come out in a video like throwing a football with a bomber jacket on. Like, hey, guy. Matthew was great. I didn't expect to like him. HANBIN, I can't remember which one.
He was the rapper in JELLYFISH, the one that came out in the blow-up costume.
Yeah, liked him. I'm still learning their names. Soyoung
was the one who did the high note in the Kick It team.
Yes.
The Korean
yeah,
Kick It
but
team.
again, he's not going to get the credit. Probably Ji-woong. Vampire, yes. Ollie surprised me because Orly Wonka, he came out saying, and I was like, what is he saying? And his name is Ollie and stuff, and I didn't get it. And then I didn't get what I thought, no, this, in all the crack videos, they're skipping over. I'm like, this is nothing. But then you start to watch him in the show, and you're like, oh, he's interesting and funny, and he sounded cool. And then HANBIN, of course, is so I usually don't go with shoe-ins all the time. I like to see.
Yours was a rough top 9 because you didn't really remember everyone.
Everybody's at that stage right now where you have to really you have to really cement your faves. Ricky, I think, is interesting. I don't think he'll make it, but they gave him no screen time, which isn't a good sign this early. Like, the people this early, if you're not getting any screen time, I just don't know. But I mean, if I have to say, Anthony needs to prove himself a little bit more, but he needs to follow like Matthew's thing. Be bright like that. He
is bright.
I know, but I know. Granted, he was in a group and Matthew was solo, but I'm really interested mostly in people like Matthew. I think that's the rappers. I'm interested in some of the rappers. They'll probably get to that soon. But Matthew, I think, was probably a standout for me just because he's unusual. He's a bit of an unusual idol, but he was really cool. Bright kid. So why am I the ugly icon? You're the cute. That's not fair.
So like my voting strategy for the most part, aside from my absolute faves of K group, like Ji-woong and Gunwook, who are probably my 2 number 1 K group, and Wungi just because historical of being a fan of his. My votes are gonna go towards G group mostly because of the way everything's weighted. Like HANBIN, I like him a lot. I would love for him to be in the group. Am I going to necessarily vote for him? No, because I think he's going to get carried by the K group fans. So that my voting strategy is to focus mainly on G group.
I still don't like how they're kind of pitting them, G against K, and it's like
it's going to be.
It's like Korea. Though. You do not own pop music. I know it's K-pop and stuff. K-pop. I understand, but I don't want that narrative to get people riled.
They've been using the rivalry, but not in a bad way.
I know. Just vote for who you like. Who cares where they're from? And I think you'll see a good group. I hope to God that it winds up with at least one Chinese member in the group. Like if that doesn't happen again, or
I don't know.
Because there's a lot. But I would love to see someone from Vietnam or something. That'd be awesome. Yeah, or what was his name? Blonde kid from. Was he Vietnamese? The duo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him
He's
a
getting
lot.
a lot of views. I forget his name. Why don't I remember his name?
Yeah, he was really cool. Vietnam
Is it
support
like
their
Hung
idols.
Hao or something? He's getting a ton of views. His performance is pretty cute.
Yeah.
He's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just like where I am right now with my voting.
Yeah, ask us in another 3
top
weeks.
9. My prediction, like for like the actual end of the group, I think best case scenario for the final 9, if we'll end up with 3 G group members. Best case scenario. I'm predicting that now.
Okay, let's do that. I'm saying 4.
4. Okay.
You got Jay. I mean, Matthew.
I don't think...
shoo-ins like that.
Are they though?
Keita is like really popular.
He hasn't performed yet, so some of them haven't performed yet. So like Keita hasn't got a chance to show. I think he'll do really well when he does. Ji-woong, they've already like showed all of his stuff there. He's like looking all sexy. Oh man, so like I'm sure he'll do well.
Yeah.
So some of them haven't even performed yet. I
hope it's not something ridiculous like that. Just give it. I don't know. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I say 4. I think it's 5 Korean and 4 G.
Yeah, I think it's fun to guess and predict because then we'll see if we're right or wrong.
Watch it be all Korean or all G.
No, it'll be all Korean before anything else. And that's our discussion for episode 1. We'll be back next Saturday to talk about episode 2, which will be the rest of the introduction performances. And I don't think much else. Maybe the beginning of the next round.
So it will be weekly, but they're not. The elimination's not for 3 episodes.
Yeah, not until the 24th, and you have to vote every day. It's a lot. It's in the Mnet World app. If you don't know that.
And I would bet that they're going to put a lot of stuff on YouTube, fun stuff and whatever to kind of fill in to allow you to get to know them a little bit too. So all right.
So
good job.
Thanks for listening to our recap. Who are your favorites? Please share your top 9 in the comments. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to, hear us every Saturday. And thank you. Bye.
Bye.